So last session we started with control statements, right? Control statements, in that we have seen looping statements. What we have seen? Looping statements. Okay. Now looping statements are also called as repeat statements or iterative statements also, right? So using these statements, so what are these statements we have in this? So we have for loop, we have while loop, we have do while, and then we have for each. So for each is not a keyword, it is used to iterate data from array and collection. So that time we will understand this. All are called looping, repeat or iterative statements. So using these statements, what we can do? We can execute a piece of code again and again. So this is particular set of code that I want to execute again and again, that we can do, right? So there, before that we write some construct, so that first of all, what is the code you want to execute repeatedly? We select that code using curly braces, and then we have seen for loop. So when you know the number of iterations in advance, when you go with the for loop, number of iterations or number of repetitions are known in advance. Then we go with the for loop. So how does this for loop works? Let's check. So first of all, we have the body of the for loop. There can be any number of statements, one statement, two statements, or any number of statements. Before that we write for is a keyword followed by brackets, and inside that we write three things separated by semicolon. So these three things are separated from each other with a semicolon. So first part we write it something called as initialization. Second part we write it something called as condition, and this third part we write it as called as increment or decrement. So what code we can write here? So it is good practice that you write initialization, means initializing a value to a variable. Now आप यहाँ पर वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर कर सकते हो, लेट्स से int I equal to 1. So this is a variable initialization. Initialization means putting some value for a variable. Condition, this is a boolean value. We have to write it boolean. So by default, if you do not write anything, there is a value which is already added, that is called as true. If you do not write anything, so this condition will have a value true. So at this place we can write multiple options. We can write a direct value, true or false. You can write an expression, you can write a variable, we can write a function call also. We can write a function call also. Okay. So all of these should be of type boolean. All of these should be of type boolean, right? Then finally at this increment decrement, you increment the value of a variable that is created here. So I write I plus plus, or I can write I minus minus. So you increment the value of a variable by 1 or decrement the value of a variable by 1. So when this particular, how this works, now we know these are the three different things we have: initialization, condition, and increment decrement. So this piece of code will execute only when this condition is true. Till the time this condition is true, your code will execute again and again, again and again. So every iteration, what will happen? The code will be executed again. Once that code is complete, it will control, it will check if the condition is true or not. So how the code flows? First of all, control will come to initialization. Then from initialization, control goes to the condition. If the condition is true, then the control will go to the body. Once body is complete, then control will go to the increment decrement. From increment decrement, again control goes to the condition. If this condition is true, control goes into the body. Otherwise, control goes out of the body, out of the for loop. Control goes outside the body. It is for loop. This is how the for loop works. Okay. Now, let's say I want to print numbers from 1 to 10. 1 to 10. So one option is write SOP of 1 so on till SOP of 10. But let's say I have to print number 1 to 100. So you have to write statements, these many statements. Let's say 1000. So I have to write these many statements. So this is very time consuming. This is very time consuming. Right? So what do we do? We write a for loop. There we specify the variable. यहाँ पे आप variable बनाते हो. Let's say int. This is kind of a counter you are maintaining. Int I equal to 1. Then I should be less than or equal to, let's say 10. Is another condition. Then I plus plus. So these are the three parts. Tick. Then I write SOP of I. Then I write SOP of I. So how does this works? First time control will come to the condition. Sorry, initialization. Then control goes to the condition. Now if you see 1 less than or equal to 10 true, this line will be executed. And then this I will be printed, that is 1. From that it will control goes to the I plus plus, that is increment decrement, variable value will increment by 2. Then again control comes to the condition. So condition is 2 less than or equal to 10 true. Then it is again going to come, so it will print 2. Again I plus plus and so on. So this will continue printing the values till 10. And at the end, so value of 10 will be incremented by 1 and that will become 11. So 11 should be less than or equal to 10 false. Then control will come outside the for loop. This is how your for loop works. So this prints the numbers from 1 to n. This prints numbers 1 to n. Now I want to find out sum. I want to find out sum of n numbers. Sum of n numbers. So I want to find out sum of n numbers. How do I find out sum of n numbers? So let's say I have numbers 1 to n. N can be anything. N can be anything. It can be 10, 100, 1000, anything. So n is the number. So to maintain the sum, we'll create a variable int sum equal to 0. Sum equal to 0. Then what do we write next? Can you tell me? Okay, and what is the for loop? So I take a for loop, int I equal to 1, I should be less than or equal to n. N can be 10, 100, 1000, anything it can be. Then I plus plus and what? Then what I write, every time I value will be incremented by 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. So I will write sum equal to sum plus I. So this will get the sum, and finally after that you will print SOP of sum. Simple. Now how this works? Again first time control will come to this initialization. Then from initialization control goes to the condition. Condition is true. Okay. Then control comes inside the body. Once the sum is done, then again control goes to the increment decrement. From increment decrement again condition control goes. If the condition is true, it will go. If the condition is false, it will come outside of the for loop. Simple. Take. So let's say I have a program. Now we have seen the basic programs, how to find the factors, how to check whether number is perfect or not. So if a number has a factor, so how do I find the factors? Factors of 12 are 1. But how do you find this? ये सारे नंबर आपके 12 को डिवाइड करते हैं और डिवाइड करने के बाद रिमाइंडर आता है 0. रिमाइंडर आता है 0. देन दे आर फैक्टर्स. सो दीज आर कॉल्ड एज फैक्टर. अगर अभी लेट से 6, व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स ऑफ 6? 1 2 3. दैट्स इट. यहाँ पर 50% से ज़्यादा कोई फैक्टर नहीं होगा, राइट? तो यहाँ पे इनका सम कितना होगा? 6. 1 + 2 + 3. तो ऐसा जिनका फैक्टर का सम इक्वल टू गिवन नंबर होता है तो उसे हम बोलते हैं perfect number. We call it as perfect number. So let's say 28. So 28 is also perfect number. Yes. So if you do this sum, you'll get 20. So both of these are perfect numbers. So how to check if a given number is perfect or not? So first find the factors, do the sum of their factors. If it is equal, finally check if the sum and the given number, if it is equal, then it is a perfect number. सिंपल. तो कैसे स्टार्ट करेंगे उसे? तो टू मेंटेन द सम यू विल टेक अ सम वेरिएबल. यू विल टेक अ सम वेरिएबल. ठीक. सो फैक्टर्स, टू फाइंड द फैक्टर्स विल टेक अ लूप फ्रॉम I equal to 2, sorry 1, I is less than or equal to number. So number will accept from user by 2 and I plus plus. So let's say number variable I have and whose value is entered by the user, let's say 99, or it can be anything. ठीक. Now every iteration what you will do, you will check if the number is divisible by I. So I will say if number mod I equals to 0, then it's a factor. Then you do sum equal to sum plus I. That's it. This is your inner if. And finally what you do, this is end of your for loop. After let's say it is 50 or whatever it is, finally what you do, you will write a conditional SOP if so number sum, if it is so, then you will say perfect, else not a perfect. That's it. If number is equal to sum, then we call it as perfect, otherwise not a perfect. Simple. Okay. Now prime number, how do I check? Prime number है ही नहीं, कैसे चेक करेंगे? ओके. सो कोई भी नंबर अगर उसे 1 एंड द नंबर इटसेल्फ डिविजिबल है, बाकी कोई नंबर डिवाइड नहीं कर सकता, उसे हम प्राइम बोलते हैं. एग्जाम्पल, यू टेक एग्जाम्पल ऑफ 7 5 3 then 11 13 17 19 23 29 एंड सो ऑन. अगर यूजर से नंबर मिलता है तो उसे हमें बताना है कि नंबर ये प्राइम है या नहीं. तो कैसे बताएंगे उसे? पहले तो हम चेक करेंगे कि उसको कोई और नंबर डिवाइड करता है या नहीं. पहले तो हम बोल देंगे कि इट इज़ अ प्राइम. लेटर ऑन वी विल प्रूव दैट कि ये प्राइम नंबर नहीं है. कैसे प्रूव करेंगे? उसको डिवाइड करना स्टार्ट करेंगे कहाँ से? 2 से डिवाइड, फिर 3 से, 4 से, 5 से, ऐसे हम करेंगे. सो विल डिवाइड बाय 2, डिवाइड बाय 3, डिवाइड बाय 4, डिवाइड बाय 5, ऐसे करते करते कब तक? 50% तक, हाफ. अगर कोई भी नंबर डिवाइड होता है तो हम बोलेंगे ये प्राइम नंबर नहीं है और वहीं पे स्टॉप हो जाएंगे हम, राइट? तो कैसे प्राइम नंबर है नहीं कैसे चेक करेंगे? पहले तो आपके पास कोई नंबर होगा, यूजर इंटर करेगा. लेट्स से नंबर है 98. कोई भी नंबर हो सकता है। तो मुझे अभी चेक करना है कि ये प्राइम है या नहीं। तो पहले तो हम एज्यूम कर लेंगे कि ये, इसे फ्लैग भी बोलते हैं, तो इज प्राइम हम एज्यूम करेंगे कि ये ट्रू। फर्स्ट टाइम हम बोलेंगे ये प्राइम है, लेकिन बाद में हम इसे गलत साबित करेंगे। कैसे? हम लेंगे फॉर लूप और लूप चालू करेंगे हम i इक्वल टू 2 से i शुड बी लेस देन और इक्वल टू नंबर बाय 2। ये नंबर बाय 2 क्यों करना है? क्योंकि आप 100 को डिवाइड करो 50, उसके बाद कोई नंबर है क्या डिवाइड कर सकता है? वो नहीं है। तो इसलिए हम कहाँ तक जाएंगे? 50% तक। ठीक है, ये आपका कंडीशन हो गया, आपका इनिशियलाइजेशन हो गया, ये इंक्रीमेंट डिक्रीमेंट। तो फर्स्ट टाइम कंट्रोल आएगा यहाँ पर, यहाँ से जाएगा कंडीशन, और कंडीशन ट्रू है तो अंदर आएगा। फिर यहाँ पे हमें चेक करना है कि इस i से आप इस नंबर को डिवाइड कर सकते हो या नहीं। तो 98 को 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ऐसे आप डिवाइड करते रहेंगे। कब तक? 50% तक। सो इफ नंबर मॉड i इक्वल्स टू 0, तो हम बोलेंगे इज प्राइम इक्वल टू फॉल्स, क्योंकि डिवाइड हो रहा है तो ये गलत है। और हम यूज करेंगे ब्रेक। ब्रेक मतलब अभी कंटिन्यू मत करो। ठीक, ये हो गया आपका प्राइम नंबर। लास्ट में आप क्या बोलोगे? एसओपी ऑफ इज प्राइम इक्वल इज प्राइम, दैट्स इट। ये ट्रू और फॉल्स होगा। अगर ये ट्रू होता है तो हम क्या बोलेंगे? प्राइम। अगर ये फॉल्स होता है तो नॉट अ प्राइम। दैट्स इट, एंड ऑफ योर प्रोग्राम। प्राइम नंबर का चेक हो गया। सिंपल। ठीक है, उसके बाद एक फेवरेट प्रोग्राम आता है फैक्टोरियल। फैक्टोरियल पूछा जाता है इंटरव्यूज में। यस, फैक्टोरियल ऑफ अ गिवन नंबर। कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? फैक्टोरियल क्या होता है? पहले तो 5 फैक्टोरियल, परफेक्ट। 5 इंटू 4 इंटू 3 इंटू 2 इंटू 1, राइट। 6 फैक्टोरियल, बस इसमें 6 ऐड कर दो तो आउटपुट क्या आना चाहिए आपका? 120। आउटपुट शुड बी 120। तो कैसे आएंगे आउटपुट? कैसे फाइंड करेंगे आउटपुट? आप एक देखोगे, इसको ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो आप, 1 इंटू 2 इंटू 3 इंटू 4 इंटू 5, ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो, राइट। ठीक है, ये तो समझ में आ गया आपको, राइट। नाउ आई हैव अ नंबर int a इक्वल टू लेट्स से 1। अभी आई राइट a इक्वल टू a इंटू 2, व्हाट इज द आउटपुट? 2। नया a क्या रहेगा? 2। अगर मैं 0 से करता हूँ, व्हाट विल हैपन? एनीथिंग इंटू 0, ये 0 रहेगा। तो ये हम 0 से स्टार्ट करें तो क्या होगा? कोई भी नंबर से आप ट्राई करो, सब कुछ 0 होगा, एवरीथिंग विल बी 0। ठीक है, सो आउट विल बी 2। नाउ अगेन आई डू दिस a इक्वल टू a इंटू 3, व्हाट इज द आउटपुट? व्हाट इज a? 2 इंटू 3, 6। a का वैल्यू क्या बना? 6। ठीक है, अगेन आई राइट a इक्वल टू a इंटू 4, क्या होगा? 24। अगेन आई राइट a इक्वल टू a इंटू 5, व्हाट इज द आउटपुट? a इक्वल टू 120। तो आपको क्या करना है? बस मल्टीप्लाई करना है। कब तक? कितने बार मल्टीप्लाई किया हमने? देखो यहाँ if you check one time, this was first time, it will start from first time was a equal to a into 1 से start किया. So this is first time, this particular thing, once, twice, thrice, 4 times and 5 times. If you see here, what is common here? A, and what is incrementing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. कब तक चल रहा है? नंबर तक. देख पा रहे हो क्या हो रहा है? कांस्टेंट क्या है यहाँ पर? a, और ये मल्टीप्लाई किसके साथ हो रहा है? इंक्रीमेंट हो रहा है हर बार a. तो मैं इसको ऐसे लूप के अंदर लिख सकता हूँ, मैं इसको थोड़ा, ठीक है. तो आप सेम चीज को मैं लूप में लिखता हूँ. तो कितने बार मल्टीप्लाई करना है आपको? 5 टाइम्स, मतलब नंबर के इक्विवेलेंट, राइट. सो इंट i इक्वल टू 1, i शुड बी लेस देन इक्वल टू नंबर. नंबर जो भी हो सकता है, 5 हो सकता है, जो भी. देन उसके बाद i प्लस प्लस. देन आफ्टर दैट नंबर जो है, मतलब प्रोडक्ट a हमने इनिशियलाइज किया था 1 से, a इंटू i, दैट्स इट. आपका प्रोग्राम हो गया फैक्टोरियल का. तो हमने क्या रिप्लेस किया है? देखो ये कांस्टेंट है आपका a, हर बार ये सेम रहेगा, और ये i का वैल्यू 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10,000 जो भी है तब तक कंटिन्यू होगा. लास्ट में आपका फैक्टोरियल का a का वैल्यू कितना आएगा? SOP ऑफ a करोगे तो 120 आएगा. सिंपल. चलो इसको देखते फैक्टोरियल. ठीक है, फैक्टोरियल. सो यहाँ पे हम नंबर यूजर से एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हैं. सो आई विल एक्सेप्ट द नंबर फ्रॉम द यूजर. आई विल आस्क यूजर enter the number to find the factorial. ठीक है, नंबर ले लिया. then we will actually accept the use number scanner system.in we get the scanner with the help of scanner dot next int. So we get the number. This is the number we are accepting from the user. Now we have to find out the factorial of this. तो हमने देखा था कि इसको फैक्टोरियल कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? 1 से लेके n तक जाएंगे, नंबर तक, उतने बार उसको मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे हर बार. कैसे करेंगे? So we'll take a for loop. It will start from 1 and I should be less than or equal to number. ठीक. सो इसको हमें फैक्टोरियल फाइंड करना है. इनिशियली हम क्या करेंगे? फैक्टोरियल इक्वल्स टू 1. हर बार क्या करेंगे हम? फैक्टोरियल इनटू, सिंप्लीफाई लिखता हूं मैं, फैक्टोरियल इनटू i. दैट्स इट. आप लिख सकते हो फैक्टोरियल ऑफ नंबर is factorial print कर दो. That's it. So we know the factorial of 5, that is 120. 5 into 4 into जो भी है. तो यहाँ से क्या होगा? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. One and the same. आप ऐसे जाओ या वैसे आओ, one and the same thing. ये कोड समझा सबको? एक लाइन का कोड. डिफिकल्ट है? तुषार बोलो बोलो. नहीं है, राइट. ठीक है, ऑनलाइन. फैक्टोरियल ऑफ a इज 120. तो लॉजिक आपको ये दिखना है. आपके पास क्या नंबर है एंड ये फैक्टोरियल. तो इसमें हम क्या रखेंगे? फैक्टोरियल. तो फैक्टोरियल इनटू i का वैल्यू चेंज होता रहेगा, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. तो हर बार आपका फैक्टोरियल का वैल्यू भी चेंज होगा. ठीक है, लेट मी शो यू दिस, आई विल जस्ट debug this also. ठीक, I entered 5, factorial initialized with 1, I is initialized with 1, I is 1 less than or equal to number, true. यहाँ पे है फैक्टोरियल कितना है 1 इनिशियली, तो फैक्टोरियल इज 1, 1 इंटू 1, आउटपुट क्या आएगा 1. नेक्स्ट आई प्लस प्लस हुआ, फैक्टोरियल का वैल्यू कितना है 1, 1 इंटू 2 2, तो फैक्टोरियल का वैल्यू बना 2. वंस अगेन आई प्लस प्लस बना 3 हुआ, तो 2 इंटू 3 6, अगेन आई प्लस प्लस 4, तो फैक्टोरियल का वैल्यू कितना है अभी 6, सो 6 इंटू 4 24, आई प्लस प्लस, सो फैक्टोरियल कितना वैल्यू है 24, 24 इंटू आई दैट इज 5, 24 इंटू 5 120, राइट, दैट इज एंड ऑफ नाउ. आई प्लस प्लस बोना 6, 6 लेस देन और इक्वल टू नंबर दैट इज 5, फॉल्स, come out of the loop and print the answer. Factorial of I is 120. Easy? हाँ या नहीं? सिंपल है, राइट? चलो आपको एक सिंपल असाइनमेंट देता हूं अभी. नाउ आई हैव टू डू मल्टीप्लीकेशन ऑफ 2 नंबर्स without using star. So let's say 5 into 3, output क्या आना चाहिए 15. So I want to do multiplication of 2 numbers but without using multiplication operator. How do you do that? Already done, right? So 5 into 3 कैसे लिख सकते हैं इसको? 5 plus 5 plus 5, सिंपल. आप ऐसे भी लिखो 3 into 5, 3 times 5, 3 times, और 3 into 5 means 3 how many times? 5 times. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus. So if you do the sum कितना आएगा 15. So what we have to do, कितने बार एडिशन करना है आपको? कोई भी ले सकते हो, मतलब इसको कितना टाइम, 3 को कितने टाइम ऐड करना है 5 टाइम्स. अभी यहाँ पे 5 को कितने बार ऐड करना है 3 टाइम्स. तो आपको लूप में क्या लेना पड़ेगा, लूप कैसे लोगे आप? आपके पास 2 नंबर है, इंट नंबर 1 इक्वल टू लेट्स से 3 है, इंट नंबर 2 इक्वल टू 5. तो क्या करेंगे हम, कितने बार एडिशन करना है आप कोई भी कर सकते हो, राइट. सो यू कैन स्टार्ट फॉर इंट आई इक्वल टू 1 एंड आई शुड बी लेस देन और इक्वल टू नंबर 1 हो या नंबर 2, मतलब आप नंबर 2 भी लिख सकते हो, नंबर 1 भी लिख सकते हो. देन आई प्लस प्लस एंड टू मेंटेन देयर सम, so we'll take a variable, right, int sum equal to 0. Then what you do, sum equal to sum plus what, number 2. That's it. यहाँ पे नंबर 1 लो या नंबर 2, उसका अपोजिट यहाँ पे ले लो नंबर 1, यहाँ पे नंबर 1 हो या नंबर 2. That's it. यहाँ पे प्रिंट करो आप सम. अभी इसको एग्जाम्पल ले लो, ये कितने बार चलेगा, नंबर कितना आपका 5, नंबर 1 कितना है 3, ये लूप कितने बार चलेगा 3 बार. 3 बार आप क्या कर रहे हो, 5 को ऐड कर रहे हो किसके साथ, सम के साथ, 5 प्लस 5 प्लस 5 प्लस, दैट्स इट. आपका आउटपुट आया 15. ठीक, so you can accept the number, let's have a number, I will hard code the number this time. Number 1 let's say 5 and number 2 is 3. ठीक है, To maintain the sum, I will take a variable int sum equal to 0, and I will take a for loop which will start from int I equal to 0 and I should be less than or equal to number 1, I plus plus. Then you simply do sum equal to sum plus. इसको ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो, sum equal to sum plus number 2. That's it. And finally you print or multiplication. We are doing multiplication, right? Multiplication of number 1 and number 2 is sum. That's it. Multiplication of 5 and 3 is 15. You can change the number, you will get the changed out. Simple? Take care. Take care. Now we'll take some pattern based programs. Now can someone tell me, I want to print this stars, 5 stars and like this. So how do I print this? So how many stars I have? 5 into 5. 5 rows, 5 columns. Right? So I want to print this. So one option is 5 times ऐसे स्पेस देके आप लिख दो. One option is, लेकिन मुझे चाहिए ऐसे, let's say 500 by 500, 500 by 500, or let's say 50,000 by 50,000, 50,000 by. Are you going to write this manually? Then okay. So what do you want to print? I want to print this stars. Star, 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 star. ऐसे. Now I want to print 5 rows and 5 columns. One option is use sysout. This is dummy way. This is a dummy way. Let's say I have to print 50,000 lines. Are you going to write this way? No. This is not a good way. So what we do, now let's say each line, how many lines you want to print? 5 lines. So we can take a for loop. So each line we can think of as a row. Each line is a row. So how many rows you want? Let's say 1. And if you want 5 rows or 50,000, you can write that. And each line, what we are printing? This is what we are printing. Okay, this is also doable. Okay. But the problem is, now let's say I have to print 50,000 rows or 50,000 stars. Are you going to write 50,000 stars? So how many lines we are printing? 5 lines. Now each line, how many stars we are printing manually? 5 stars. Now let me print, I want to print 50 stars or 50,000 stars in one line. So are you going to print like this? Then, so I want to print in this column, I want to print, let's say, these many stars. Like this, 50,000 stars. Are you going to write this? Are you going to write 50,000 stars or 5 lakh stars? No. Then each row, what we have to do? We have to print multiple stars. So if you want to do something multiple things, so what we have to do? We have to take a for loop. we have to take a for loop. So each line we have to print multiple stars. So one for loop is to go from one line to another line. One for loop is to print stars. So each row we have to print multiple stars. That's we have to take another for loop. So we do this. So instead of you doing this, what we do? We take again a for loop. So this is called as column. So column will be starting from 1, and how many columns you want? Let's say 5. And instead of println, what you do? You just give a print, and I double quote star space. And after printing the columns, at the end you want to take to the next, then you take println. So what will happen? Then after printing all these stars, at the end your control will come to the next line, and then again you will print stars. Let's run this. So this is called as one for loop. We are taking 2 for loops. So why we are taking 2 for loops? One for one row, and each row you want to print multiple stars. If you see here, now if I take this 50 also, it will work. For 50 also it will work. See here. So first of all, see here how many lines we want. Okay. So you will take one for loop, right? Now let's say each line I want to print only star. Now I want to print this one. So how can we do this? How many lines we have? 5 lines. So you can take a for loop, single for loop. It will start from plus, and you can write SOP of star. Okay, this is fine. This is a simple star. Now I want to add multiple stars in each row. I want to add multiple stars. Now I have these 5 rows, and each row I want to print maybe 5 stars or 5,000 stars or any number of stars. Then how do you do this? So this is, let's say, 50,000 stars. I have 50,000 stars. So are you going to print manually? No. Then what is the use of your loop if you are printing this manually? Right? So you take 2 for loops. One for going from one line to another line. So one loop you need, how many times it will run? 5 times, or maybe 100, whatever the number of times you want. So one for loop I will take, which will run, this is called as row. So int r equal to 1, r should be less than or equal to 5, and r plus plus, that is row. Then again each row I want to print multiple stars. So I will take another for loop, that is int c equal to 1, c should be less than or equal to, we usually take r, we take not r, we will take hardcode value 5, okay, and c plus plus, and then you print SOP of star. This will be print only, and after this you print SOP. So this will take you to the next line. Simple. Very simple. First of all, you take a for loop, this for loop to take one line, another line, third line, like this, and each line we want to print multiple stars. For that purpose I take another for loop. So this is for printing the stars. This is the for loop to print the stars, and this for loop is to print row. This is to print the row. This is for row, and this is for column. This is for row and column. Simple. Okay, next question we'll take. How do you print this? So first of all, check how many rows do you have? How many rows we have? 5. How many columns we have? 5. So each row, how many stars we are printing? So let's say first row R1 1 star, row 2 3 star, row 3 3 star, row 4 4 star, row 5 5 stars. So number of stars are equal to row number. If you see here, number of stars are equal to row number. Number of stars are equal to row number, right? So first of all, you should be very clear. अभी कितने सारे मुझे for loop चाहिए? 2, right? एक क्यों किसके लिए चाहिए? चलो लिखते हैं उसके लिए. So what pattern we want? So we want star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star and star. So number of stars are increasing, right? So first of all, I will take one for loop, that is to maintain the row. So row will start from 1 and I want how many rows? 5. Then each row I have to print how many stars? So column. So column will start from, so number of minimum stars are 1. You tell me. Column should be less than or equal to? True? Row. Why row? रो क्यों लिया? फर्स्ट रो में 1 स्टार है, सेकेंड रो में 2 स्टार है, तो हर एक का नंबर ऑफ स्टार्स अलग अलग है. तो रो नंबर 3 में कितने स्टार्स प्रिंट करना है? 3. रो नंबर 4 में कितने सारे स्टार प्रिंट करना है? 4. तो कितने बार चलना चाहिए लूप अंदर वाला? जितने सारे स्टार्स है, जितने सारे रो नंबर है. लेट्स से रो नंबर 5 कितने सारे चलना चाहिए? कितने बार चलना चाहिए? कितने स्टार्स प्रिंट होना चाहिए? 5. सो विल प्रिंट द स्टार. प्रिंट एलन नहीं लेना, बस प्रिंट ले लो and give a star. After that you can give a space also, and after that just to take a new line, first row, then second row, third row, like this. Are we able to print? Tick. So what I want now, I want a pattern. What pattern I want? I want 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2 3 3 3 3 3 4 4 4 4, like this. 5 rows, 5 columns. So how do I get this pattern? कितने सारे रोज हैं? 5 रो है. और कॉलम्स सबका फिक्स है, चेंज होने वाला है नहीं है, राइट? So what we can do, we can take a for loop. This will be row. Row will start from 1 and it will end for 5 times. Again, how many columns we have? Each row, how many columns we have? 5. So I will take column equal to 1 and column should be less than or equal to. रो भी ले सकते हो, नहीं रो नहीं चलेगा ना, रो में तो एक एक प्रिंट होगा, 1 2 3 4, राइट? तो यहाँ पे क्या लेना पड़ेगा मुझे? 5. then I print. To take you to the next line, I have to print this. Can you tell me what I have to write here? Column. रो नंबर 1 में हम क्या प्रिंट कर रहे हैं? रो नंबर 2 में 2, रो नंबर 3 में 3. तो आप यहाँ पे हर एक रो पे आपका जो क्या प्रिंट होगा, कॉलम में क्या प्रिंट होगा? रो नंबर. तो आप यहाँ पे लिख सकते हो रो. तो हर एक रो में क्या प्रिंट होगा? उस रो का नंबर 1 2 जो भी है. 1 हो तो पूरा 1, 2 है तो 2. सिंपल. See here. You can give a space also. See here. Now I want next level. What I want 1 2 3 4 and 5. So this will be same, number of rows are same, so this will remain same, this will also remain same. So what we have to do, we have to change something. Now if you see here carefully, यहाँ पे देखो हर एक रो में हम क्या प्रिंट कर रहे हैं? रो नंबर 1 में हम 1 प्रिंट कर रहे हैं, रो नंबर 2 में 2 प्रिंट कर रहे हैं, रो नंबर 3 में 3 प्रिंट कर रहे हैं, रो नंबर 4 में 4, रो नंबर 5 में 5. तो क्या प्रिंट करना है ये तो हमें पता है, रो ही प्रिंट करना है, लेकिन कितने बार प्रिंट करना है? हर बार आप 5 बार करना है कि आपको वैल्यू? नहीं. कितने बार करना है? रो नंबर 1 में कितनी वैल्यूज प्रिंट करनी है? 1, रो नंबर 2 में 2, रो नंबर 3 में 3. तो आपको यहाँ पे क्या लिखना है? रो. रो होगा 1 2 3 4 5. तो ऐसे चलेगा. सिंपल. Easy? Okay. Let's take it to the next level. Okay. There is hardly any change. Tell me. So number of values, number of rows will be same, 5 rows. Number of columns will be equal to row. So first row, how many columns will be there? How many values will be there? 1. Second row, 2 values. Third row, 3 values. Fourth row, 4 values. Fifth row, 5 values. So this will remain same. So we have to change what here? Only column. Because first time column will be 1, second row column again it will start from 1 to 2, again third row column will start again from 1 2 3, fourth row 1 2 3 4, fifth row 1 2 3 4 5, like this. Simple. Is it? Yes, online. Any queries? Nodeep, Samarth, Rahul.
No, sir, it's fine.
Okay. Rahul? Okay. Now I want answer from you guys. Okay. I have a pattern. I will print 1, and I will print not this one, we'll start from this one. Yes. So first of all, your basics, how many rows are there? Perfect. How many rows will be there? 5. So your first loop is final. Row will equal to 1, row less than or equal to 5, whatever it is. Now each row, how many values you are printing? How many values you are printing? How many stars we are printing? Equal to row number, equal to row number. But before that we are printing something also. We are printing spaces. We are printing spaces. So how many spaces we are printing? 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. So first of all, what we will do, we will print the spaces. Each row we have to print two things. Each row we have to print two things. First is spaces and second is star. So how many total values you have to print on a single row? 5 values. 4 spaces, 1 star, 3 spaces, 2 star, then 2 spaces, 3 star, 1 space, 4 star, then 0 space, 5 stars, right? So first of all, let's do this. So what pattern we are looking into? Star, sorry, star, this we have to print, right? Like this we have to print. So how many rows are there? 5. It can be anything, but for now we are taking 5. So how many rows? Row equal to 1 and row should be less than or equal to 5. Okay. So each iteration we have to do two things, print spaces and print stars. So how many spaces we have to print? So we will print spaces also. So there are multiple spaces, so I have to take a for loop. So I will say space, how many spaces we have to print? 4, 3, 2, 1. So this should be, can I write this? 5 minus, or how many spaces? 4, 3, 2, 1. So I can write this 5 minus row, 5 minus row. So first time row will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So last row, how many spaces will print? 0. Space should be less than or greater than. So we are going from at the end to the beginning. So it should be greater than equal to 0. And space should be minus minus. So number of spaces are, we are decreasing. 4 spaces, 3 spaces, 2 spaces, 1 space and 0 space. Okay, we'll print the space. Okay. After that, what we have to do? We have to print the stars. How many stars? 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. Then I will take a for, that will print star. So how many stars? Equal to row, and then we'll print the star. Perfect. And after that, after printing spaces stars, then we have to take the control to the new line. Let's do this. Easy? Okay, so we'll take some couple of examples and then we can wrap it actually. So this is more of your practice. Instead of me doing this practice, you should be doing this practice. Now this star I want to print 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, now instead of printing star, already we have to print the spaces that we are doing, printing the spaces. We have to just print the, what we have to print here? Not column, row. We have to print row. We have to print row. So first row we are printing 1, second row we are printing 2, that is equal to row. Third row we are printing 3, fourth row we are printing 4, that is equal to row number. So this will print like this. See here. If you want, you can give the spaces also. No, sorry. Okay. Okay, see here. First of all, we are printing multiple spaces. Then we are printing the numbers, right? So each row we are printing combination of spaces and numbers. Here also number of spaces are decreasing, but the values are getting increased. Let me debug this. So first row what we are printing 4 spaces and 1 value. So this loop will run for 4 times. If you see here, see the console, let me clear the console. So there is nothing now. Now when I run this, how many spaces it will print? 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3. If you see on the console also, it is printing 4 spaces. After that, how many rows? Row number is 1. So how many values will be printed? Only 1. So this will print only 1 value. That is 1. That's it. And after that, control goes out of the line, that is println, and then again second row, how many spaces we are going to print? 3 spaces. Okay, and after that it will print 2 values. What is that value? 2 values. But what we are printing? Row. What is row? 2. So it will print 2, once again 2, that's it. And again to the next line. Third row, how many spaces we are going to print? 2 spaces. 1, 2 and 3, sorry 3 spaces. Then again we go to the next line and then 3 values we are going to print. That's it. Again next row, spaces, then numbers, that is 4, 4, 4, and take to the next line 1 space or maybe 2 spaces and then 5 values. If you see here, that's the end of your loop. Easy? यहाँ पे देखो थोड़ा सिंपल, पहले हम स्पेसेस प्रिंट करते हैं, then उसके बाद हम जो भी एक्चुअल वैल्यूज है that we actually print. Each row we print a combination of these, that's why we are getting this multiplication. हर एक रो में हम कॉम्बाइन कर रहे हैं स्पेसेस एंड वैल्यूज, इसलिए हमने ये सिंगल वैल्यू होता तो मैं डायरेक्टली लिख देता. ये लिखने की ज़रूरत है कि इतना सारा, ये लिखने की ज़रूरत क्यों है? क्योंकि मुझे मल्टीपल स्पेसेस भी हो सकता है. अभी मैं से 500 करता हूँ. इफ आई टेक दिस एज 500, व्हाट विल हैपन? You can get that, that's also fine. You see here 500 values, we have not given the space, that's the reason. See here, it should be greater than 0, sorry. ठीक है. See here, values are getting printed. These are these many spaces. Okay. So this is because of these double digits, it is looking like that. So you can give a space also in between this. Because of double digits, it is looking like that. Otherwise, it is looking properly. See here. ठीक है. Okay. So we have a couple of more patterns. First you practice this because these are again some advanced level patterns we have. Once you practice this, then we can again start with the advanced patterns. Right? If I take it now, it will be little tricky to understand.